sit back and relax.
I do, but it's actually yesterday's bad.
Brownsville Area School District Board of Directors will meet for planning session on Monday, March 17th, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. in the auditorium. Hello? All right, let's start that again. The Brownsville Area School District Board of Directors will meet for planning session on Monday, March 17th, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. in the auditorium at the Brownsville Area High School, 1 Falcon Drive, Brownsville, PA, for general purposes. So we had our call to order, so let's move into public remarks on agenda and non-agenda items. Jody, do we have anybody that signed up?
I have 3 people. The first one is Charlotte Day.
Okay, and just as a reminder, I believe 3 minutes?
5. She called in.
She called in and everything.
Okay, thank you. 5 minutes. Jody, please. Thank you.
Okay, board members. So, as you all know, I've been up here presenting my situation with each and every single one of you for months about legal procedures and how policies are supposed to be followed, which is great because you guys pointed it out as of today, a lovely new policy, which that's nice to know if I can do anything in the public that it could be trashed for your new policy. Thanks, no. That goes to stand to where my next question comes in. On September 16th, we were brought aware of bullying policy. Rob Halleck was the one who mentioned that bullying issues in our district. So, we go clear back to September 16th, and we present ourselves to October 17th, 2024 at the school board meeting. We yet again present ourselves with the elementary issues and the bullying at the elementary. Let's make sure I'm loud so everybody can hear me. Number 1, first question, what have we done to effectively deal with the bullying situation in the elementary? Because numbers are dropping rapidly, according to our district, for why people are leaving to the charter schools, which Ross Kim, you do not agree with, but this is why our children are going to charter schools. My 2nd grader had to scream, shut the F up, and everything else in her face in 2nd grade. Do you really think, and I had to be concerned about presenting it, because the last time I had a meeting, I don't even need to hold that, boo. Sorry. Oh, I wasn't even on and I'm doing great. So everybody needs to learn to take some theater, maybe you can project your voices, it'll help when you're speaking into your mics, by the way, so it's clear for the videos too. But also, we have not effectively addressed why CYS is allowed to be in our buildings without calling a parent, still have no answers on the brutally bodily harm that my children were in, and the state police were not notified. So that's a mandated reporting policy, which goes against your civil oaths, because all of you were made aware. So what have we done to rectify any of these situations? There was a bully committee that was supposed to be started. Who's in charge of the bullying committee? Can you please raise your hand? Nobody? So that's yet again an empty blank policy that committee that we were going to start with Brownsville Area School District. Let's talk about transparency. Do you realize how embarrassing it is that I have been trying to advocate for our students and be transparent as can be, but none of you have been very transparent with me? Now, how's that fair? And why have we gone so far to try to shut me up? If I had no merit to what I was speaking, would you go this far to shut me up? I don't think so. So, you need to evaluate what we're doing here, because my genuine concern isn't about your politics, isn't about your money, isn't about your jobs. I don't even want your jobs, nor was I trying to take people's jobs. But at the end of the day, if this keeps going, it may have to end up to that. Because children are at risk. Severe risk. On everything that I've been speaking on, let's talk about gang violence. Have we talked about that for a while? Because last time I just left the DA's office, and it's still at a pretty high time. Now, as educators and everything else, shouldn't we be aware of these situations in our district with the bullying policies? We have 13 mental health counselors that you were proud to advocate for. What difference have they made? Genuinely. What difference have they made, in all honesty? Because all you're doing is causing a hostile environment. Do you know what a narcissist is? Let me explain to you. This school district is like being in a relationship with a narcissist. And that is sad. I would not want to be the narcissistic boyfriend or girlfriend in any situation. So, at the end of the day, we either need to start being more transparent with what we're going to do with the bullying and actually evaluating it and getting a backbone and following through with the procedures. Oh, let's talk about yonder pouches and cell phone policies. My daughter, I asked, she is not allowed that yonder pouch because of my hostile environment for my children. Now, what are we going to do because I refuse her to have it? Is she banned from your building? Because if she's so, you're paying for her to go to a different district. So you have a choice here. I told you I wasn't playing. I educated myself up on the law. Y'all told me to educate myself. Well, guess what? I sure in the heck did. Now, what? Silence? We ain't going to speak on any of this, but we will have you speak to your solicitor who told me
I
to sue.
never told you that comment, not me. Maybe the other eight did.
I was told to sue by your solicitor. And when I asked for his thing, I'm glad that you guys vote for somebody who tells people to sue instead of trying to bridge the gap. What kind of message are you sending publicly when your solicitor is doing this thing? You all voted on it. Y'all voted on it. He stated that in his contract.
We have to vote on a solicitor. Every school has to have one.
So then look for a different one. If he's telling your parents to sue, I mean, that could be where a lot of your downfall comes from. One of our highest paid, we have 23% students with an IEP. What is our highest lawsuits against our school district? Special education. What advice does your solicitor have to save you money, y'all? We pay them $120 an hour. Let's get it straight. And let's not talk about anything else with nepotism because, my word, that can get us on a different scenario. Time's up.
Thank you. Jody, who's next?
Stacy Baker.
So okay. Was this for your conference update? Oh, okay. Is there anybody else in the public before? Okay, very good. Yeah, because I think you were presenting on conferences.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Is this a 5-minute thing?
Well,
Do we know?
oh, okay.
Okay, I just questioned that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm only saying that, Stacy, because I, as one board director, want reports from anybody that goes on a trip from now on. But it's not just starting on you. It's been a vacation for most people.
Right.
Go ahead.
No.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Yep.
Do you need this? Or is that better?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I attended the conference down in Station Square. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me that opportunity to go down there. Chantel Little was down there with me. So what that led from me going down there is a lot of the things that they're doing at the elementary, we want to transition into the middle school, especially with literacy and bridging the gaps with the deficits that we have. So by me going down and working with Chantel, I was able to give her some insight on the middle school and what I'm aware, because I am the middle school department head. So from that conference, I took away where Dr. Costaville and Dr. Martin had asked me to present and do some professional development because we had done some AI, because we were able to pick the sessions that interest us. And then it also led to Chantel coming up to work with my 6th graders. One of the big things they're working on is mentor sentences and how we can incorporate them into our classroom, which is nice. I'm a visual, so I like to see somebody do it instead of just looking at a PowerPoint slide. So I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of some of the things, and Dr. Martin and I have discussed about possibly having professional development done in-house. One, it saves the district money if your teachers are doing it, and 2, it's nice to learn from your peers. So even though I'm, going on 20 years, I learned a lot through that conference and especially working with Chantel. So I do, again, want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to attend that and letting me bring that information back to our home district.
Thank you for enlightening us on that, because most of the time we don't get that. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I would have presented last month, but that was the musical. And as a resident, I want to shout out, the musical was absolutely wonderful. So shout out to Trisha Rolfe and everyone that was involved, because that was an amazing musical. So I thank the district for providing funding for that. So that's just my resident comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I echo your comments about the musical too. It was phenomenal.
Mrs. Little, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are
All
you?
right, so I was here in the fall, and I know I said I would come back with some updates. I will try to keep this at my 5 minutes if you want to time me. So everybody has a report with some of our data. When I was here the first time, we had only done our beginning of the year benchmarking. So I have updated middle of the year benchmarking. I'm not going to read everything right now because the board all has this, but we're definitely seeing growth at the elementary. And I told Dr. Kospel today we were meeting about some literacy things, and I said, this is like, I feel like this is my baby. So watching it grow is pretty amazing. And to piggyback off of what Stacy said, I also went on that conference where I presented on small groups. So I also had the opportunity to choose and meet and do a lot of professional development there as well. So thank you for that. I'm actually going to talk a little bit less about that and more about what's going on at the elementary school. So being a coach, this is the first time we've had this type of role. So just like a sports coach, I kind of wanted to go over what I do. During the week, I will model in teachers' rooms. I will find resources for teachers. I myself do a lot of training so that I can stay up to date on best practices. I also work with our MTSS team, and I also take students either one-on-one or one-on-two in small group settings for intervention. So some of the things that we have done this year, and when I sat down to actually look at this, I was just thinking like, wow, we've really done a lot at the elementary school. So our focuses this year have been implementing a universal screener K-5. We did start this last year, K-2, and have bumped this up. What the screener does is kind of just let you know if a kid is going to need some extra help. We have continued the kid writing K-2, and like Mrs. Victor said, we have introduced the mentor sentences 3 to 5. No, actually 2 to 5, that just started. And we are going to also bring this up to the middle school next year. We've done a lot of text-dependent analysis. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the PSSA, but that is a large part of what our 3 through 8 students are graded on the PSSA. We've done several school visits this year. So we work with an IU consultant, Dr. Tracy, and she has let us know what schools are doing, some of the same programs we're doing, and some of the same initiatives so that we could go see those schools who are maybe in year 3, year 5, and just kind of get a glimpse of where we'll be and get some insight from them. That's been very helpful. We have revamped our vocabulary instruction, K-5. We have started progress monitoring with Fidelity, which has been something we have not done for, I'd say, quite a few years, probably at least 15 years. We've been having data meetings where instead of just having the data, we're discussing the data and letting that guide our instruction. And one of the big things this year that we've been working on is a literacy plan that will start out elementary and then hopefully carry over to the full district. I did want to talk about some barriers that are kind of impeding what we're doing this year. As some of you may know, we do have a sub shortage. That causes a lot of times that we have meetings to get canceled. So that's something that I'm hopeful for next year that we can have a solution for. I know all areas, not just education, are experiencing that shortage. Because of the staffing, it does make it difficult to meet with the whole grade level. So I know that Mrs. Llewellyn and Dr. Constable are looking at the schedule next year to try to rectify some of those barriers. My goals for next year, I have talked to Dr. Martin, and I will be going and expanding this role up into the middle school to kind of bring the things that we have been doing and seeing success with up there to have that continuity. We'll be expanding that universal screener to the middle school so that we can more easily identify kids that need help. Hopefully, we'll have more people in place with those interventions. That's been a tough thing this year with the MTSS just because of not having enough people to really create those small groups. So that's something else. And those are the biggest goals for next year. The last thing in your packet, redacted, But sometimes we see this grade level or school information and it just gives us this broad picture. But as I have been progress monitoring our 4th and 5th graders, specifically those ones who have been in that just words intervention, I wanted to print just some of those so that you can see the impact on individuals, because overall it may not always look like the data's growing, but when you look at a student one-on-one and see that they started out the year reading at 60% accuracy and they're now at 89%, it just makes the world of difference for those kids. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Ms. Little, this is your report, right?
Yes.
Very extensive. Thank you. Any questions for
Thank you.
Mrs. Little?
Thank
Great
you.
work.
Thank you, Mrs. Little. Nice job.
Thank you.
And I too would like to thank the board. This was a great investment for our district, for our children, a heavy lift for our educators at the elementary, but we are getting return on that investment, and thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Yes.
Hi,
Hi.
I've seen you guys for a while. With elections coming up, I was curious as to how many seats will be open on the floor. So when is the deadline to have your paperwork in order to be on the ballot? And has that properly been done?
I think it was on Tuesday the 11th.
Pardon me?
Tuesday the 11th
The 11th?
of March, yes.
And has paperwork been turned in for everybody that?
Well, that's at the county, right?
Yeah, I mean,
The election bureau of the county.
Election Bureau is the one you would have to technically ask that question to.
I can't.
The election bureau would have that information. The district, I think the district requirement is to get the financial interest forms, but the paperwork, petitions, and all that stuff is not brought here at all.
Okay,
That all goes to the election
So if it
bureau.
wasn't filed.
But it's online. You can see it online.
Mhm.
So if it wasn't filed, you shouldn't be on the ballot.
But that's,
It's an election bureau.
Right.
it's election bureau.
Yeah, they have all of that.
Okay. Second of all, I haven't been here for a while, but, like Charlotte said, there was, supposed to be a bullying committee. And I know that there were a lot of volunteers that wanted to be on that committee, and I'd like to know why that committee was never established.
Yeah, I know we put a call out for a few committees, but I don't know if that was one of them, but it's something that I did write down.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I was here.
I had asked for an ad hoc committee. I don't know if they
Sure.
had any interest in that, but that was,
That's the only one we advertised for, and
is that the one I asked for? So it was an ad hoc committee, correct? Yes.
that
Yeah.
was the only one we did have, and we only had one person call for interest, and it was
So,
like a month after
yeah,
it was already in.
we can certainly put that call out again.
Yeah, I think that, 13, 15 years ago, Dr. Sally had an ad hoc committee, and it seemed, Mr. President, to work very, very well.
Sure.
Getting feedback from the residents.
Mhm.
Not always did we listen, but they were there to tell us what they thought was happening in the community. So I would be all for to try this again, to get some residents to sign up for this ad hoc committee.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly do
And
that.
there were restrictions, like they could not demand things, it was just giving us feedback, what they see were from taxes to everything in that nature, from bullying and things like that, so I would be,
Sure,
that we should try it again.
yeah, absolutely.
And my last thing is, I understand there was an incident, for lack of a better term, where a teacher or teacher's aide may have made a comment where it was okay for boys to touch girls. I was wondering where that stands.
That's personnel.
Yeah, that would be personnel, but we have Dr. Martin, if there are questions that can be answered, that we may not have the answer to at this point, we can certainly look into that and get answers.
We don't have an answer to why a boy is allowed to touch a girl. And
I don't know, I'm not sure I know about this incident.
Oh, really? I don't even have a child in school.
In any instance.
And that's a personnel matter too, right, Mr.
It's
Brashear?
zero tolerance. It's zero tolerance all the way through, whether it's bullying, whether it's, yeah, and that's the stance that we take. However, this board meets twice a month, so we only get what knowledge that we were informed of. So maybe in executive session tonight, we might know some few more
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And the superintendent will probably enlighten us on some things that we need to talk about. But not always do we have the info. We just,
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment? Okay. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to move into executive session.
but
Oh, go ahead.
I got some bills for payment, just a couple questions.
Oh, sure.
I don't know about anybody else does, but I just wanted to go, not a question, I want to give these figures out. They're all public knowledge, but I'm going to, probably for the public. I'm going to start off with, I don't know, California Academy of Learning, $31,000. Chestnut Ridge Counseling, $21,000. Commonwealth Charter Academy, $71,000. American Healthcare Staffing, $34,000. Insight PA Charter School, $13,000. Still going, there's still more. PA Cyber School, $65,000. PA Distance Learning Charter, $6,000. PA Leadership Charter School, $8,000. I can keep going. And
How many more is there?
there may be 10 here. These are monthly bills. Monthly bills. Our budget is $36.1 million. We're spending right now on average, I think Mr. Colby will agree, $4,000 on our students. Used to be $9,000. We are spending more money going out this door that we can't even get these kids' grades. I will never stand for that, and I haven't for 30 years. This is they're taking every brick out of the foundations of this school. Any school, not just Brownsville, all schools. These charter academies, if you watch PCN, they're crooked. They're taking money, going to spas, having health care for their employees, but the kids are not getting the education. I don't want to bring that up tonight, Mr. President, but it is a stiffing with me. I cannot sit here in good conscience as a board member and see thousands and thousands of dollars every month going out of this district to pay schools that we cannot even get these kids' grades. And it's a shame. It's a shame that the governor and the legislators in Pennsylvania, they're just starting to do something about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be off the top here, but I'm teed off about it. So
Sure.
Thanks, Mr. Bashir. You kind of served that one right up for me, and I appreciate it because I am 1,000% on board with everything you said. Just so we're tracking as a school board, 115 students were in out-of-district student ed. You go back and look at the September report that we got, 115 out-of-district. Today, 168 out-of-district, an increase of 53. I'm not going to get into why. That's not my point here. My point here is, to Mr. Bashir's point, that's $79,295 a month going out the door, which is ridiculous. With the rate, our special ed rate is $24,000. Our rate to our regular ed is $11,000 per student per year, or per year. Ridiculous. This has got to be fixed. We need your help to get on our legislators to get this fixed, get the governor to help us out with that. Ideally, I would like to see our out-of-district. Now, I would like to keep our kids here. That's a discussion for
Mr. Gammon, the problem with the legislators,
another day, but
not one of them ever served in the classroom.
Seven,
Not
nine
one of them
thousand.
ever been a teacher. Everybody that's in the legislature never served in the school district to know where this money goes, but yet they hold us hostage.
Yep.
And they want the local taxpayers to pay the bill.
which we can't. So we are going to generate, Mr. Bashir, you said it perfectly, $36 million budget. We generated what, $1 million roughly out of local revenue?
For taxes?
Yeah.
5 million.
5 million, okay, still. 5 million in local revenue, 31 million from the state. So we can't compete with that in this district. Sorry, I'm not campaigning, honestly, I get worked up.
Well, yeah, and
So much.
And I think, I mentioned this at a committee meeting or so ago, with folks leaning into school choice more and more, and that becoming, I think we're we're gonna have an issue as a district.
Yeah.
Contact Susan Spica. She's on the national fight against these charter schools. And she's the one that is exposing all the underhandedness. Watched their whole program for 2 hours the other night. And they've got a good program, but it's just the people at the top are running the show. And until they decide, quit hammering the local taxpayers, $5 million doesn't touch us. Right, Mr. Gammon? $5 million out of $36 billion? That's all we
No,
get.
we raise taxes and generate $800,000 and that destroys lives and does nothing for us.
There's nothing. People are losing their homes because they're being taxed. They don't have any kids in the school, but they're losing their homes because they want us to fund the local kids. We can't give our public school children enough money. We should be spending $15,000 a student, and we are not. It's not our fault. It's no one up here's fault.
No, it's not. Maybe we need to think about, my kids don't have to follow the rules, so I can leave the school district and go do something else. And that's a big problem.
It is.
It's a big problem.
But what about the kids who do follow the rules and then they still feel like they're being punished? That's the whole point. That's something
Thank
we
you.
in our district for that reason. I mean, if you
At-
want to address the issue, we got to address
At this time, I'd entertain a motion for executive session.
Mr. President, the only remark I would make is that if executive session is going to make a change to the agenda, that would make sense. If not, I would recommend that we did the executive session at the end of the evening so that we don't have to hold everybody up.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm fine with that.
I agree, Ross, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think we
I
should
mean,
make
we're
it.
gonna, yeah, it's just,
I don't
we're
want to
gonna
hold
go
up
through
everything.
this
You're
and.
right.
That's fine.
The public's
Yeah,
here, I think they should.
I think there was an issue, but we can, yeah, it can wait till the
It can
end.
wait.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, we're done with that. Okay, I do have an announcement. So at our last meeting, February 20th, we did move into executive session at the end of the meeting, and that was for personnel and legal matters. So I want to make sure that that is on the record. Superintendent remarks.
I would like to congratulate the girls' basketball team for making the playoffs. Accolades to everyone involved in the musical. The Addams Family musical was fantastic. Congratulations to BAHS student athletes who made it to WPIL qualifiers for wrestling. Michael Ulrey, Logan Ross, and Alexa Lewandowski, congratulations. And then I will save the remainder of my remarks for Thursday when our little ones from the elementary are here for Student of the Month.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mr. Clark has a follow-up question for bills for payment. Go ahead.
Page 1, you can explain a little bit what that TSA consulting bill is?
That's the 403B. It's the retirement.
Retirement?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought, I just didn't. Thanks.
Okay. So for Thursday, we'll have a motion to approve, of course, the agenda and the minutes. Were there any questions or follow-up on that? And Mr. Gammon pointed out from our August 12th meeting, there was the motion there that was left out of the minutes, which we will have that on Thursday's agenda to incorporate officially into those minutes. So any other questions?
Yeah, I had one, just, our policy for for superintendent, our policy for in-district cyber education. If somebody's gonna enroll in cyber education, I had a parent contact me saying that they would not be allowed to enroll in the Brownsville cyber if they were failing 2 classes. I looked through stuff and I couldn't find anything. That doesn't make sense to me, but I wanted to confirm.
I don't know if that's in the cyber MOU, Mrs. Llewellyn?
It's not, just based on past practice and keeping it consistent since we started the program. If students are failing 2 or more classes, we encourage them to stay in first. And same goes for those students in cyber. If they're failing 2 or more classes, a lot of the times it's because of missing assignments, not walking on doing their work, and we encourage them to come back.
We encourage them to come back.
I'm sorry, I missed that a little bit.
My fault.
Mr. Gates, so that is, if you are failing 2 classes,
If they're failing 2 or more core classes, at a given time, at the end of that semester,
Yeah.
we encourage them to come back in
Right.
person learning, or, we don't encourage them to go on.
But can they?
but they can. That's the issue, because if we don't allow them to go to Brownsville cyber, and they want to go to cyber, their option would be to go to outside cyber, and there's nothing we can do about that, right? And then that, other than write the check.
Since I've been in store, I haven't seen that be a problem, that they have left our district because of that.
Okay?
I do see a downward trend when they go at the second.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
Especially with the program being,
Yeah.
it's not face to face.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a lot of freedom for the high school students to just do the work on their own.
Okay, so basically what I've heard then is not true. What I was told, that there is not, if you're failing 2 classes in brick and mortar, and you want to go to cyber, Brownsville Area School District Cyber, you are good to go.
We are encouraging them, no, not to.
You're encouraging-
No, we are encouraging them,
To
no,
stay brick and
because
mortar.
you would want to stay brick and mortar
Yeah, but
as
if
to
they
not
choose
set them
to
up
go,
for
they
academic
say,
failure.
"Hey, I want to go to Brownsville Cyber," and we say, well, it's either no, or you go to, you stay in brick and mortar, then at that point, they could easily say, well, I'm not going to stay in brick and mortar, I'm going to go to cyber, and we're going to pay the price. Okay? I just,
I mean, we could go case by case and have a meeting with the parents and a sit down, but if a child's failing 2 core classes out of 4 core classes, it would be hard for me as an educator, as a principal, as a parent, to encourage my child to go on, or that child to go on to a cyber program
I am with
without
you.
the resources that we have in this brick and mortar.
I know, I hear you 100%,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, if given an option, like if a parent has made up their mind that that kid's going to cyber, he's going to cyber.
And in
If
my
he's going to go to cyber, I would much rather him come to our cyber than that.
Same.
That's my only point.
In my experience when I was principaling, those children who did then enroll in PA Cyber, most of the time didn't make it. They ended up coming back because it's too cumbersome for them. So they do end up typically coming back. Not that we want that for them, but we want to encourage them to stay brick and mortar for the most part. That's where our resources are. They're here. But I would encourage those parents to have a meeting with the building principals, cyber coordinator. Yeah.
Okay, I will absolutely
Yes.
encourage them to do that. Yes, okay.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Ms. Columbia, anything to add for your treasurer's report?
No, okay, just a question,
Yeah,
Mr. President. I spoke about it earlier. America's healthcare staffing, 34,000. I mean, I don't want to put anything, but what do they do? I mean, what is it that they do? $34,000.
Colby, do you have that?
How many aides?
Those are emergency.
Emergis provides us with nurses, paraprofessionals, behavior therapists.
And that's a necessary thing, obviously. I mean, so if we didn't have that, what would we have to do? We'd have to hire.
We are trying to hire through the district, but we've had minimal applicants. So to fill those positions, we've had to go to outside staffing agencies to fill the positions.
Have you had any trouble of these people coming here, this company? I mean, look, there's a big list here of payments. Do you ever have anybody turn you down, or you don't have enough people?
We still don't have enough people, but as far as the agency, when you call, they do provide people with
Now, is that a weekly thing or a daily? You have to call daily? Oh, they're daily?
on the students' IEP, if they need a nurse, they need behavior therapist, if they need a paraprofessional.
And I'm very understanding that you have your hands full. I mean, I witnessed it, so I know, but I just I'm not questioning the company, I'm just wanting to know what they're doing.
Yes, they provide us, it's a staffing agency, and they do provide us with a variety.
And you were okay with what they're providing?
Yes, we would prefer to have Brownsville staff, to hire our own people so that we can control, who we get.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had minimal applicants, so we have to turn to the staffing agency.
But the students are receiving what care they need
Yes.
with that? Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Number 8 then on the agenda, we will discuss approving the following funds, A through I. Questions or comments there? Okay. Moving into Education Committee, Mr. Dorsey on Thursday will discuss opening 2 emotional support classrooms, one in the elementary and one in the high school. Questions or comments on that?
So we approved one, according to my research, January of last year, that's when it came back. ChatGPT is awesome, by the way, I'm going, it's really good. But, that was at the middle school, right? So so how does that work? I guess, so when we do this emotional support classroom, is that like, we put a teacher in there all day long? Or?
Ms. Palo, I think this might be a question for
So
you.
so that basically, so in this case here, we would have a teacher dedicated to the elementary school resource room, and we would have another teacher dedicated to the one at the high school.
And this would be an emotional support classroom.
Correct.
Not a resource room.
So Dr. Nicholson opened an emotional support class just at the middle school.
Yeah.
And it started this year. So those students that are now in 8th grade, they're gonna move up to high school. They don't have a classroom to go to. And then we have students that can utilize that at the elementary
Okay.
school as well.
All right.
And we brought students, our own Brownsville students, as well as students that were in out-of-district placements, we brought them back to Brownsville to put in that class. So we could do the same with the elementary and the high school class.
So I'm thinking this is a difference between, I'm thinking of the resource room where if you are a special, that's different, where you would go there, you're not there all day, but you go there on a part, like you need some help, you go to that one.
No,
This is different than that.
that's a resource to, meet the specially designed instruction that's in each student's IEP. This is an emotional support class for special needs students that are diagnosed with an emotional disturbance.
I got you, okay, all right.
So we would need a teacher, and we would need a social worker,
Mhm.
and it would be different from a comprehensive therapeutic emotional support class that would have a psychiatrist on staff or a nurse practitioner. So it would be students with the less severe emotional disturbances. But we have those students in our schools,
Yep.
and then students that were out of district placements, we can bring some of those students back to us.
Which I love that idea. Would this cost us, would we need to hire some people for this, or would we use
Yeah,
existing?
that was gonna be my question, Mr. Gammon, same thing. So you need more staff.
Yeah. So, but, to her point though, that would be, if we could get a couple kids back that we're paying money out, maybe it might be, and I hate might, because, you know, there's a potential for a return on investment, basically.
And
If
because
we
it
did
depends
this.
on what services the student receives when they're in out-of-district placement. The tuition could be anywhere from $150 a day for travel to $200 a day,
Yeah.
plus, van transportation.
Mhm.
So we could recoup that money if we brought them back.
Yeah.
And place them in our own, classrooms, as opposed to out-of-district placements.
Well, this would be a question that I could answer. So, in 2021, we had 1,900 students. Then we went to 1,600 students. Now we have 1,400 students. So, do we have, I think the answer would be we have the classrooms. Would I be right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we don't have to find a
Yeah.
building, we have the classrooms.
Right.
We should have fun.
An open classroom in the high school and one in the elementary school.
I mean, I thought the answer would be we have classrooms, because you're down to 1,400 students, so we have to have some room somewhere.
We should have
Okay, that answered my
I
question.
mean, this is something I'm very interested in. I'd be
I'm
personally,
interested in also.
I love the idea of anything that's gonna bring more kids back into our brick and mortar is always gonna be a plus for me. But I think the discussion probably revolves around, okay, the cost incurred with hiring additional people was significant.
Yeah.
Especially with, no disrespect, but our enrollment is dive bombing right now. I mean, it literally is going through.
It's the worst I've ever seen it.
And when we hire people and then we gotta fire them a month later or lay them off, a year later, it's tough. So I personally wouldn't mind seeing something about, how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, Ms. Paley, yeah, if you could
A workup.
maybe
Yep.
do a little workup for
Yeah.
us, that would be great. So are some of our students now going to like Bentworth? Is that like a similar, what we're thinking about?
Yeah, they do have a classroom there.
Right, okay, got it.
And do we pay Bentworth for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
where we sat.
Okay.
Brownsville money in Brownsville.
Well, that's good.
That's fine.
Thank you for looking into that. I think that'll be helpful
Yeah,
as we
well,
make our decision.
I mean, I know for years, we've paid for one student $61,000 a year.
Right.
One student.
Right, exactly.
Because that's what we have to do.
Right.
So,
If a student attends, for example, Penn Highlands, autistic support, just for one student, that's $80,000.
Put them in.
yeah, so,
Okay.
you know, we talk about retirement. You don't want to chase any of our teachers out. But my gosh, you know, how do we pull this? How do we make this work?
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways, but they're not always the most popular ways.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we look forward to that report. Thank you.
Can you just by the number of services the student receives, their age, different things like that? Like I said, it can be around $200 a day per student. So I could figure it out depending on, how many students we would be allowed to have in a class
Mhm.
and how many we would bring back.
Okay.
Or
And-
even every day students are being identified.
Right.
And then instead of sending them
Out, right.
keep them here.
Okay.
And we have students who go to the hearing school, the autistic, blind school. They go to Pittsburgh on vans every day.
Right.
It's just a standard thing we do, but the public doesn't probably know a lot of that. I mean, it's,
School for the deaf, the school
yeah,
for the blind.
Right. Okay.
daily trips to Pittsburgh and back. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Gates, Personnel Committee.
All right, discuss accepting the letter of resignation from Kenna Marietta, para-educator, effective February 28th, 2025. B, discuss letter of resignation from Amanda Johnson, para-educator, effective March 7th, 2025. C, discuss a letter of retirement from Shelley Williams, accounts payable, effective September 30th, 2025. That's gonna be a tough one.
Oh my
Yeah, we're
gosh.
over here to
Shelley
say
has been here and she has done one heck of a job.
Yeah, we might have to close the school.
We may have to close the business office. That's
Hey, there's nobody better than Shelley Williams for 40 years, however long she's been here.
right.
Yeah. 47. Holy, we're gonna have to close.
Wow.
I'll let her know.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Ooh,
All
sorry.
right. Discuss adding the following names to the paraprofessional substitute list. Amanda Johnson and Brooklyn Wolpick. I have a question. Okay, there's Amanda Johnson here, we're gonna put her on a substitute list, then up here she's resigning.
Paraprofessional.
She was hired as a paraprofessional last month, but she does have a.
Oh, professional.
degree, so she wants to.
I'm sorry, I saw that, my fault.
Yeah, she'll make more money on a day-to-day sub than she will as a paraprofessional. It's a
I see.
no-brainer. I think that's the case with the second person too, right? Or no?
I don't know, that's Brooklyn Wolpack, I don't know. Oh, she's just a good person coming in, okay. E, discuss adding the following names to the support staff substitute list. Brianna Bloom, all clearances are received. F, discuss hiring Carla Craig as a part-time cafeteria worker for the 5-hour floater position in accordance with the SEIU contract effective March 21st, 2025, and all clearances have been received again. G, in accordance with section 1108 of the school laws of Pennsylvania, consider a motion to acknowledge Kaylee Molick, professional employee who has completed 3 years of successful teaching experience and as a result has attained the status of tenure. And H, discuss opening the position of the district superintendent.
Thank you. Ms. Columbia, Financial Committee.
Mr. Boyd, did you create these big, long paragraphs?
I know, that's like, wow.
Sorry about that.
And not only is there, it's like 3 of them, come on.
They're all sort of identical, but it's part of like a procedure we have to follow.
Okay, you're forgiven. Okay,
That's what it is, Patty, when you leave the state.
making up for last month, I guess. Item A, discuss approving the bid for Category 2 equipment funding utilizing the E-rate program and reimbursement for the 160 Sophos wireless access points from Communications Consulting Incorporated in the amount of $74,400. The E-rate reimbursement will cover 85% of the total cost, equating to $63,240, leaving the district responsible for 15% of the total cost, which amounts to $11,160. Issuance of a purchase order is subject to school board approval of the 25-26 budget, and receipt of E-rate funding, of which the district is responsible for 15% of the total cost.
Okay, who wrote that? Was that Mr. Davis?
No.
Mr.
Mr.
Boyd.
Boyd wrote that?
It is actually like a legal thing, to get the approval.
So you were gonna be the school solicitor then? Looks like it's well written to me, but,
Now we're just on item B, Mr. Bashir.
yeah, that was just A.
Item D, discuss approving the bid for Category 2 equipment, funding utilizing the E-rate program and reimbursement for 15 Ruckus switch upgrades with 10 gigabyte of SFP fiber connectors from Dolphin Datacom in the amount of $20,732.70. The E-rate reimbursement will cover 85% of the total cost, equating to $17,622.80, leaving the district responsible for 15% of the total cost, which amounts to $3,109.90. Issuance of a purchase order is subject to school board approval of the 25-26 budget, and the receipt of E-rate funding, of which the district is responsible for 15% of the total cost. And then item C, discuss approving the bid for Category 2 equipment funding utilizing the E-rate program and reimbursement for cable and infrastructure upgrades from Dolphin Datacom in the amount of $2,558.24. The E-rate reimbursement will cover 85% of the total cost, equating to $2,174.50, leaving the district responsible for 15% of the total cost, which amounts to $383.74. Issuance of a purchase order is subject to school board approval of the 25-26 budget, and receipt of E-rate funding, of which the district is responsible for 15% of the total cost. And then item D, discuss approving the request from Cheryl Frost Dance Studio to hold the dance recital and practice in the auditorium of the Brownsville Area High School on June 11th through the 13th, 2025. And I'm assuming Mr. Boyd did not write item D.
Thank you. Questions or comments on?
Just a comment, Patty. Item D, they would be responsible for all costs and everything with the district custodial.
Correct.
This is normal, right?
Yep.
Right, Cody? Okay, thank you.
I would like to chime in if you don't mind. There will be another discussion point that I would like to add. You have some information on National School Food Study in front of you. So Mrs. Keeler received this National Food Study with a summary and some expectations for us participating in this study. With this study, it had asked if we could provide some incentives or gift cards to our district staff and students who participate. The second question was if we allow passive consent. And the last was, does our district have a required research approval process? So I weighed Jeremy in on all of this, and our solicitor did respond. The study team can provide incentives to participate as long as the incentives are appropriate. The district does not permit passive consent process for student participation. We have a policy in place that states parents and guardians shall be informed of their rights to have their child excluded from any research studies or surveys conducted by entities other than a school entity without prior written consent. And the last question, we have policy in place that requires research studies be approved by the board prior to its implementation. This is a mandated study that Mrs. Keeler will need, she can speak further on it, that she will need to put out to the students and staff, but it will require board approval. So I wanted you to have the literature to take a look at it before Thursday. If you have any questions, Mrs. Keeler is in the audience. I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer them.
Questions? Mrs. Keeler, anything to add? Mhm. Okay.
So does this come from the state?
USDA.
So is there a cost to this? Oh, figured nobody wants to make money, they're not trying to make money off of it.
So that,
Okay.
that reminded me, I saw in your report about the USDA cutting some of our money. Can you explain that a little bit, or how that happened? I guess I'm sure it's Doge related, but.
Yes, this was in the second year, we would receive what they call local division, funding.
Uh-huh.
And if, we would have to track the that are considered local food.
Uh-huh.
And so we were saying, see that again this school year, and that's
And how did did you get a letter from USDA that explained that, or from the, or did that come from the state? Okay, interesting.
And just to add to that, Ms. Keeler, you're experiencing a tremendous loss at this point with lunch, something with the lunch. I'm not exactly sure what I'm talking about, but you are experiencing a loss of lunch fees or reimbursement because of the students we now have are down to about 1,400. That's true, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
All the reimbursement, all of our funding comes from meals served. So if we serve a breakfast or a lunch to students, we get a reimbursement. It's mostly federal with some state funding. If we don't serve the meal, we don't get any funding. So, between the, decline in enrollment and remote days, which count as an instructional day, but the students are not here, that combined with the flash funding from USDA, it's kind of,
So basically, Amy, the remote days don't help.
they do not help the cafeteria.
Okay, thank you.
So you don't, the meals that you provide for the after-school teams, does that, you get reimbursed for that?
That's considered the after-school snack program.
Okay.
And yes, we get $1 per snack.
I gotta tell you, you probably, I don't know if you're feeling it, Patty, but it's tremendous. That program is rave reviews, and I can't imagine, at least for the middle school teams anyways, I imagine at the high school teams, it's gotta be even more, because these kids are gonna be leaving, they don't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
That's good stuff.
First lunch starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're here after school.
Right.
For a little while. They
Right.
haven't had any food since 10 o'clock.
Exactly. Yep.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Gammon, Building and Grounds.
Item A, discuss approving a quote for the Versa Vault storage in the amount of $3,850 for some storage purposes, and it's pretty much for the storage is for the musical stuff, is what I'm tracking right here, right? Some of that. We're gonna put it next to the building, the maintenance building over there,
Okay.
just on the left-hand side.
All right, good.
Item B, discuss refurbishing and repair of the tennis courts at an estimated cost of $24,000 using the capital project fund. Item C, discuss refurbishing and repair of the basketball court in the amount of $6,000 paid for by the capital fund. And discuss lining the pickleball court in a total amount of $2,000, 4 courts at $500 each paid for by the capital fund.
Where would those be?
Everything's there. It's on top. We're gonna paint the lines.
On top of the basketball court?
No, the pickleball will be on the tennis court. You get both.
So we don't have tennis anymore, so I don't know if that would bother anybody.
So what we do, and it's, I mean, we don't have an actual tennis program, but the high school team, the high school gym teachers are they're playing tennis down there.
Right.
Oh,
What
right.
I'm saying though, if we have a team, I don't know if it would bother them with the different lines.
So I see Mr. Lonergan at the gym, and he told me most tennis courts are going at these days. So Mr. Lonergan, I consider
He
the
would
tennis
know.
expert. Yeah,
He
so-
would know.
So the only real question I have, so just so everybody's tracking, The capital project fund, basically, these expenditures are about 11% of that, so nothing significant out of that fund, which is a good news story from my perspective. But the question I had, and I kind of, how do we replenish the capital fund? Is that an internal thing, or does the state give us money for that?
No, that's internal. I believe, so like during budget, we could put money set aside in the maintenance or some account. And then we would have to make a motion to transfer money from the general fund to the capital fund.
Okay.
From what I understand, we have not done that. We've done it one time.
Yeah.
And I believe they closed some accounts. There was like $600,000 in there. So we have not put any money into that. But to your point, the asphalt will be coming out of that also.
Yeah, track.
Yep.
Comment, Mr. Gammon.
Yes, sir.
Last meeting, I was talking with President Mahali. He's laughing because Mr. Dorsey isn't here. We were talking that probably, maybe, a stadium could go where the softball field is, the tennis court, and put everything in the back of the school, that a stadium would fit right there. I don't know the measurements, it's just a thought, and it's probably 8 to 10 years away. But we were just talking out there that it could fit there with a track.
I can show you that it won't.
Okay, well, we just were
I
talking.
can show you that it won't when you add the stands in the press box, which you gotta have.
Oh, I agree.
And even if it does fit, well, even if you don't put the stand and press box in, the amount of dirt back there. So where are you talking about at the Redstone?
No. Right here.
Right out front.
It don't fit, but I can show it to you.
Oh, I believe we were just brainstorming that we hate to have our facilities all over the place.
So just so you're tracking, I have my company, the software that we sell for my company is geo-rectified software. I basically did a complete trace out of California Stadium, their press box and their thing, and then I can literally move it all around. Like literally any place, twist it, spin it, but it stays the same exact size. It does not fit here. And what I will do for Thursday, I'll bring pictures of all the places that you guys want, just so we can hand them out and you can see it. And then I'll have my computer died. I would do it now.
I had to throw it out there, see if it's stuck.
There is nothing, trust me, there's nothing I want more in the world. Anything than and it makes me so mad, just so you know, because we go down to California and we're playing volleyball, and we end the night, it's getting dark out, and I'm driving by and I see the entire California baseball team out there practicing at 6:30 at night on their football field. I'm jealous as hell. I want that. I want that for this district. There's people up there running around. If we could get a little bit of land that way,
I think we should.
We can make this happen, but we need the land. And I will show it to you on Thursday, Mr. Bashir.
I think we should have an activity bus.
And, so that was the other point. I forgot about that.
I'm just throwing that out too.
What's that?
I'm throwing that out too.
So the activity
Our
bus,
athletes could use a ride home.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not saying I've heard from a lot, but I would be interested if something that we could consider, not saying that we would go and do an activity bus now, and Patty, you might have some on, being a coach, but I've heard, let me rephrase, my wife has heard from kids who want to play sports but do not have a ride home after sports. I don't know how many that is. If that's one or two, then obviously an activity bus is not going to work. The question being is, if we had an activity bus, would that increase participation in fall sports, and especially our low number sports, football, and some of the others? And I obviously would not want to commit to that transportation unless the need was there. And if there was some way we could determine that type of need, I'd be interested.
20 years ago we had it, but
I know.
you had to have the numbers. You couldn't take a bus for 5 kids. You had to have.
My dad worked on the river. I lived in Royal, and my mom didn't drive. I lived on that darn thing during track season. I'm tracking.
So, Ross, what I've seen in basketball, in I think the past 2 years, is a drop because we're practicing later.
Yeah.
We're practicing 5 to 7, we're practicing 6 to 8. We're everything we add is bumping us back. And I don't know. I think you can't go wrong with an activity bus, but I don't know if the activity bus is going to address those kids who, once they go home, will not come back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I feel as if it's hurt the girls' basketball program.
Or could it? Could the activity bus do that?
Well,
Bring them
that's
back?
part of why I presented that.
Yeah, I think
could they do that?
you know, if there was some way that we could determine the need for an activity bus to either from or to, and then kind of just go from there. I'm saying we're ignoring it, but
Even practice attendance is on Fridays.
Yeah.
I was leaving work early on Fridays and we practice after school.
Yeah.
And the attendance at practice is higher than it is the rest of the week. But they come to the game.
and I'm not saying, like, back in the day, it was bus 48, you know, big 48 passenger bus. I mean, maybe the activity bus is the one we've got out here, or some other van, you know, something not as big. Yeah, again, the more kids that are involved in athletics, and I mean, for me, this time of year up here is phenomenal. This entire school is involved in after-school activities. I'd love to see that in the fall. And football being one of the key ones. I think there's a lot of kids that probably might play football, but they just can't get a ride home, or two. Sorry.
Are you good? Was that, I know.
Oh, that was D. All right,
Yeah, you got E.
Discuss purchasing supplies for the basketball and tennis courts. That's basically the nets and things like that we would need for that. I think, Jerry, does that also include like a storage facility for some of that as well? Yep, a little something that we could use for storage and down there to kind of lock that stuff up, and you don't have to move it back and forth.
I do have one quick question here about this. The side hoops at the gym, do we know what's wrong with them and if they'll ever get fixed?
Over here? I don't know.
Yeah. It is fixed? Okay. Okay. Oh, good, good.
Summer food.
And discuss approving the summer food service program. Not sure that's under.
That does belong to you.
But I say yes.
Thursday, yeah, right. Thursday it'll be
Under
on
5
Ms. Columbia's report. Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Oh,
Gamma.
sorry, Mr. Bashir. I could have waved that whole bus thing under the next one. But
Yeah, so good segue, Mr. Bashir, transportation.
Well, I don't have any comments. I'm sure you're all happy about that, but I'm still evaluating the situation that we talked about last week. I mean, it's taking its time, but we did put the letter out to parents.
I have the letter, but I haven't received approval
Well,
from
I
the
moved
board.
to approve that letter.
Okay, all
It's
right.
well
So there
written,
you go.
and I think the parents will understand that this is not a racetrack, and we're gonna start coming after you. And that's the way the letter kind of states. And if they don't take that serious, I think the votes are here on this board to lock the gates, and you're gonna walk here, like we did in 1999 or 2000. Because that's the only way I see for the safety of our teachers and our students and our employees. Guys, I see it in the morning. It's a disaster in the mornings at the high school. Not the drop off, but it's just, they just don't want, they would go through the stop signs, they pass the teachers up, teachers are trying to get out of their car, they're trying to get home at night at 2:20, they can't even get out. Because they want to pick up little Billy at the door. Don't make him walk, pick him up at the door. Park in all the handicap spots. Am I right, Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Today, you're directing traffic, chasing people out of handicap spots. That's not your job, but that's where we're at, people. This is the worst my transportation in 30 years have had to deal with. But that's all I have, Mr. President.
So,
Thank you.
hey, Mr. Bashir, on transportation,
Yes, sir.
the car is at getting its stuff on it. Is it gone?
Is it?
It is?
Yeah.
Any idea when it's coming back? Okay.
Car will be out there with its lights on.
Flashy lights.
You get pulled over, your problem.
Right. I think the meeting was good. Was that last week or 2
Yes,
weeks
it
ago?
was. You know, and
Good
again,
feedback.
I'm evaluating the Bob, and
Okay.
you know, we're getting on that road.
Yep, that's fine.
We'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Bashir. Mr. Clark, Athletic Committee.
Dr. Martin, are you always out there dealing with traffic?
Not always. 3 days last week,
3 days last week?
correct.
Item A, discuss approving Jason Beck as the middle school volunteer assistant baseball coach for the 24-25 school year. All clearances are received. B, discuss River Steel to paint the dugouts at the softball field at no cost to the district.
Rivers of Steel, they have a graffiti artist who is working at the high school with one of Ms. Stout's teachers, Mr. Nicholson, and they wanted to come in and paint those dugouts. They have some ideas with how they could mark it up. We'll have a markup for you. Ms. Stout, did you say you were going to reach out to her to get maybe the markup of what it would look like?
She did send the markup. Her name is Ashley Kyber. She sent the markup, but it's not what Ms. Locke and Mr. Nicholson and the graffiti artist talked about last year when they worked with Rivers of Steel. So Scott is the graffiti artist. He's been back in touch with Ms. Locke and Mr. Nicholson. So they're working on what they want the inside of the dugouts to look like, excuse me. So as soon as I get that, I'll reach Dr. Martin too.
Cool.
And I'll share it with the board.
Thank you.
It's great.
It'll look nice.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Anything else from the board?
Yes, one question, Mr. President, just to clarify, Dr. Martin, we are in agreement to send a letter out, the board is.
Yes,
Have you not seen that letter, please look at it, that she
I
wrote.
think you sent that to the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the board,
I
I
move
think
to
we
approve
saw
that
Silence is
letter.
consent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's any opposition to that. Okay, very good. Okay, at this time, entertain a motion for executive session, and just as a reminder, we will not be coming back into session, so this will be the end of the planning session. Motion and a second. We stand adjourned. Oh, there we go. I guess we can stay here. Okay, we'll stay here.